My daughter took me thrifting to celebrate Mother's Day. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I'm going to show you what we found on Monday when we went digging through the Goodwill bins in and around Portland, Oregon. There's that joke going around about Mother's Day is the day you spend doing things that other people think you should want to be doing. My daughter is fantastic, and she knows exactly what I want to be doing. And we went and did that. I mean, it also helps that she loves the bins just as much as I do. But we went and we dug. There are actually 3 Goodwill outlets in and around Portland. There is one in Milwaukee, one near the airport, and I think the third one that we hardly ever make it to is in Hillsboro. There's one in Vancouver too, but we haven't been up there yet. I had been thinking of a silly little project that I would need an old vintage TV guide for. So when I found 4 episodes of TV Guide, it would have seemed meant to be, except my specific project definitely does not need Star Trek covers. I know I've got some friends who would have snapped up this doormat, and it is so stinking cute. But if I put it in front of my door, it would have been covered in mud probably by day 2. So I left it there for someone else who's got the perfect doorway for it and less mud than I do. Maleficent has been my favorite Disney baddie since childhood. This is the neatest purple and black dragon. I just kind of adored it and resisted temptation because I don't think I need it. Sorry the video on this one is sideways. I had the camera twisted wrong, but I couldn't not show you the vintage latchhook Christmas owl. I spent some time looking at it, and I'm like 98% sure that somebody made this and that it wasn't mass produced, but with that backing on it, I couldn't tell absolutely for sure. It was a good day for finding vintage handmade stuff in the bins. I don't buy books very often at the bins because I know of other places to get them cheaper. I was hoping that this old cookbook would have some fun stuff tucked in it, but no such luck. But I did find myself an old issue of Paco Fun from 1970. I spent just hours of my childhood looking through the Paco Fun magazines my great grandma left behind and wanting to make all the things. I don't know the name of this model of sewing machine, but I passed up one at the thrift store a few years back, and ever since I've been really tempted every time I see one. This one was only $15, but it didn't have its electrical plug or foot pedal, and I could probably smuggle another sewing machine into the house if I really wanted to. But I know I don't have a place right now for one in a cabinet because I have several sewing machines in cabinets. And if I'm going to pick and choose and decide which one, I'm keeping Grandma's. Do you see what I see? This is the first time ever that I have found embroidery floss in the Goodwill bins. And trust me, I dug through that tote and picked out every skein, almost every skein. Some of them were a little too ratty. They had great old labels, and I think I will tuck them away in case I need skeins of floss for a sewing room decor project. I don't anticipate that I will stitch with them because why would you use up those labels for colors that honestly, I've got lots of pink and lots of green that I can use that aren't this cute. Now and then I do find craft supplies in the bins, but it is so easy for them to hide under everything else that you really have to have a sharp eye for it. They had the cutest little vintage school desk. This would have been for an itty bitty child, and it was can't remember if I zoomed in on the price tag. It was very inexpensive. I've seen these at the regular thrift stores, and they wanted $100 for desks that were in worse condition. I think that one might have been $10 or $12. Not bad at all, and I wish I had had a place to put it. Take a look at these two lamps and tell me what you think. I have a theory that the paint job is newer than the lamps themselves. And anything that looks like an oil lamp is going to make me smile. The paint job on these was great. And the one here to the right, if I could have figured out what piece I would need to mount the shade back on it, that one would have come home for me with me, because they were only $5 each, and they're just so cute and so vintage and fit into that whole bicentennial sort of obsession that I've been quietly developing over here. If you know that it would have been super easy to get that shade on, don't tell me, because I probably don't want to know. This made me sad. I have talked about things being donated to the wrong place. There has to be a story here, and it can't possibly be a happy one. These are hats for the NICU. You can tell by the yarn and the pattern and the size. They were sized for preemies, not newborn babies. And there were easily 50 of them, if not 100 or more. I couldn't see anything that would have made them unfit for donation. So I can't help but wonder what happened between all of the hours that somebody spent knitting those and the moment when they wound up getting donated to Goodwill. Like I said, there were so many of them. And I can't imagine what will become with them at this point. I don't know, because of the pandemic, if the hospitals weren't taking donations and somebody just gave up on them. It saddens me. There was a quilter's stuff at this Goodwill. No fabric, but I found some patterns and some books. And this really pretty quilt. It was small, like a wall or a small lap quilt. And then I am kicking myself for not buying this double knit polyester quilt. What I was thinking was that it's not my grandma's quilt, and I have my grandma's quilt, and I was not thinking that I live in a drafty old farmhouse where you can always use one more super warm quilt. These are 24 patch blocks. You can tell that whoever made them definitely had more of a plan than Grandma had when she made her quilt that I have on my couch right now. Yes, it is ugly. I am sure that these fabrics are, like my own grandma's quilt, left over from making clothing. But there was definitely some thought that went into this and some craftsmanship. It was backed with a yellow flannel, and I hope it finds a good home. I should have brought it home with me, but I wasn't thinking, obviously. Here is my second double knit polyester quilt of the day, and this one was a baby size. Look at how much prettier those fabrics are. I know there's such a thing as pretty double knit polyester quilts, and I actually own one up in a couple of them. But this one is just the sweetest thing ever. I don't regret leaving this one behind, but dang, I should have bought the larger double knit polyester quilt. Live and learn. We wound up with a pretty decent haul for the day. My daughter bought a piece of furniture, and we got a cartload of clothes. It was fun, and I hope we can go back soon. Thank you for thrifting with me. I'm Michelle, and this is my Romantic Tangle.